Hi, Baz. Good to
Hi,
see you.
Good to see you.
And why are you here with us today?
Well, I teach pastoral care for Anglicare in churches and to chaplains and in theological colleges. And in this instance, I'm interested in thinking about how we can care for one another in the face of COVID-19 on the phone.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here with us. It's important that we're talking about this because we are physically and socially distant from each other right now.
Yeah.
And the telephone is perhaps one of the few communication opportunities we have to connect and care for each other.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through this a bit more?
Well, I'd probably start with the World Health Organization, which we've heard a lot about.
Yeah.
And they've talked about the pandemic of COVID-19, but about 18 months ago they talked about another epidemic across the world, which was loneliness.
That's right.
And they talked about how destructive loneliness is for our mental health and for our physical health. And one of the great step over of loneliness is when someone comes into our space and talks to us. And so in this instance, we've got to be alert that we're really under pressure because we've had to isolate or be quarantined. And so how are we going to step out into someone's world and speak to them? And the telephone is about the only way we can do it, or email them. Texting's not a great way to care for people. I think your generation probably have a bit of a different perspective.
Yeah.
But I think texting's quite complicated and nuanced. I think when we really want to feel cared for, we need someone on the other end of the line who just says, "How are you going?" and speaks to us. In Australian vernacular, I think we say, "How are you going?" but it actually doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It just means I'm going to blurb out some words and you're
More
going
of
to
a
say...
greeting, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
How you going? Fine.
Yeah.
And then you have to say, "So how are you going?"
Right.
And to hear someone and rumble along with them rather than getting caught up in, I really want to see if you've got any problems. Because people see through you trying to come in as the rescuer.
Right.
What we really want is just have connection.
Can you talk us through what it looks like to have a good phone conversation with someone?
Yeah. I think it's getting the goal set straight off so that you don't ring up thinking that I'm going to answer people's questions or I'm going to make them feel better. You have a really simple goal that I just want to get to know this person and make a connection. So a lot of people, when they ring up, what they're trying to do is avoid any difficult conversations, or they're wanting to jolly people along and pop out some platitudes like, "It'll all be all right in the end," or "I know we've got it all in hand." But actually, one of the best things to do is just listen to people and hear what's happening for them. So it's really the art of the question. So ringing people up and not saying, "Gee, this must be a difficult time for you," but saying, "How you going?" And just hearing what they actually say.
I know it's a temptation for us as Christians who have God's word with so much truth in it. Sometimes we are tempted to, stick a Bible verse in there. That can feel like a platitude sometimes.
Yeah, you can throw it in like an incendiary device,
Yeah.
and it kind of blows up any confidence that the person may have in you.
Right.
Because we certainly don't, when we have a conversation, we don't want to say to people that your faith is negligent by your fear or anxiety or your worry. We want people to be able to say, "Yeah, I'm finding this difficult," and for us to listen. Or alternatively, if we ring people up, they might tell us about how much they're enjoying being at home in the quiet.
Right.
We just don't know what we're going to get. So when we
Yeah.
have a conversation, it's that adventure of, okay, I've set time aside for this person. I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to say, "How you going?" And I'm going to say, "How you going?" in a variety of different ways. A good phone conversation actually is often under 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's helpful.
We really only need to set aside about 10 to 20 minutes. If you want to have a good conversation, don't have 5 minutes.
Right.
Because people feel that rush
Yeah.
And also don't multitask.
Yeah.
So don't wash up.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, we all are. It's that person that you ring up and you think they're washing up. The key really is to be present and really hear that person.
Thanks so much, Baz.